Hey guys, Scott here again with a new beer dissection video for you. What we'll be doing today is Goldenrod, okay, by Lone Oak Farm Brewing Company. It's a Belgian style Witbier. Might as well just say what it's coming in at 4.8% alcohol. I did a whole video on the Witbier style, the Belgian Witbier style, talking about Allagash White. Has become one of my favorite styles of beers over the last couple of years. So if you're interested in that, take a look into the what is style, sometimes even the the beer dissection style when I talk about Allagash White. I go into Pierre Celis and Hogarden and AB InBev buying them out and everything like that. So if you're interested in that type of history and specifically Allagash White, that's it. So I'm presuming, being a Belgian style wit beer, I'm expecting this is going to be, mostly a wheat beer, and because wit means white in Flemish, I believe, and so they use usually at least over 50 to 60%, if not more, wheat, and classically coriander as well as orange peel in the beer, which is some of the main descriptors that you'll have when you start smelling the aroma as well as the flavor of the beer. And you'll see that a lot in Allagash White, Hogarden, and probably a lot of other Belgian style wit beer. So this is kind of what I would expect from this brewery. Lone Oak Farm is out of Maryland, like I said. I believe I did a review on a chocolate porter from them. Again, if you're interested in this brewery, I do have a video. I think it's under beer dissection. Okay. So anyway, for this type of style, classically this style will use a French jelly glass. It's kind of like a thick, almost looks like a juice glass with kind of flat kind of ridges on each side. If you just Google French jelly glass, if you're interested in that, that is the classic glass for that. However, like I do with most of my beers, I'm just going to kind of use my oversized snifter. This one specifically from my friends over there at Mauritius Field Brewing Company. I did have a breakage of one of these, so this is the last one I have left. Okay, so let's take a look at this bad boy here. Okay, so here's the label. I'll probably have it popping over my shoulder with the glass like I usually do a few times during the course of this video. Okay, so let me crack this open. So again, there's only the second beer I've had that. My buddy lives in Maryland. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one that's been in there. I'm looking for the 22. So it was canned, several months ago. I just want to put my glasses on for a second because I meant to look at this before I started videoing. Canned on October of 22. So I'm filming this in the end of February 23. So, a little bit older than I would like, but, nowadays you can't expect everything unless you live, very close to the local brewery, 4 weeks old. All right, so let's pour this. Okay. As I'm pouring it, it's looking pretty traditional style. This style is usually going to be very straw-like. It's going to have, so it uses wheat and sometimes unmalted wheat. It's usually going to have a degree of haze to it. So what I'm looking at here, it's kind of like a light gold color. Actually, not too much haze. It's actually pretty clear, which is kind of surprising. Maybe a slight chill haze to it. Not much head. I'm expecting to see a little bit more, especially these days when I'm pouring a little more aggressively. And this glass is pretty clean. Sometimes I'll criticize my own glasses because they're clean, but maybe, beer clean is to another level of cleanliness. And sometimes you get a lot of nucleation sites, which are those bubbles on your glass. So I have some of those, but not too bad. So let's take a whiff of the aroma. Okay. Definitely get the coriander right away. It's not as strong as Allagash White. I'm going to probably draw some comparisons to that because Allagash White has become kind of the standard for the wit beer style, except for maybe second place Hogarden, which is the originator of it, Pierre Celis. You know, I never perceived orange, even though you use orange peel in this. There is some type of citrus. I almost get a little more of a lemon on the aroma than orange, but there is some citrus in there. When I take longer sniffs, I get a little more of that coriander. And if you're not familiar with coriander, I know most of you have it in your cupboard. You may not cook with it very much, but take it out and pass it under your nose a little bit to kind of get refamiliarize yourself with it. So if you ever have this style out at a brewery, you can kind of be familiar with it. But very, very pleasant smell and, pretty typical for the style of most wit beers. You maybe get a little bit of that since it is wheat-based, that, the wheat bread, white bread type of malt profile to it, okay, aroma to it. Okay, so guys, cheers. I'll show you guys on camera one more time. So again, it is that light gold color. Usually Allagash and Hoegaarden are kind of more of like a straw color. This is kind of darker straw. It's no knock to this beer, but that's kind of just in comparison to other styles. Okay, this is looking more like an American kind of wheat color. Okay. Not really strong with the coriander on the palate. I kind of get that lemony citrus, probably from the orange peel. Again, wheat bread, you kind of get that wheat bread malt profile to it. The coriander is definitely more subdued than Allagash or even Hoegaarden. Light body, pretty high carbonated, which is good. I mean, this is kind of your deck refresher in the summertime. I seem to consume a lot more of this in the warmer months. Like I said, kind of light to medium bodied, not much bitterness. The style does not usually, hops are usually not that important in this style of beer. So a lot of times you're not going to get much bitterness, maybe just, subtle. I wouldn't be surprised if we're under, 10, 15 IBUs, maybe no high as like, in the teens. Definitely, like I said, medium to high carbonation, low bitterness. I still get that kind of more of a lemon background on the aftertaste, probably again from maybe the orange peel. Again, subdued on the coriander, lemon, but very good. Not my favorite. This is not going to be my favorite Belgian wit beer. If I was to give a grade, Allagash being A, Hoegaarden kind of being a B plus. This is probably like a B minus. There's definitely, I don't see any signs of oxidations. It's pretty, true style to color. You get no really off flavors to note of, to speak of. But it's pretty refreshing. So that has it for the wit beer style. But again, didn't really hold the head much at all, whatever head we did have in there. So that's a little bit of a knock to it, because with beers like that, a lot of times you want the carbonation, because if you do have that coriander in there, you want to kind of get that whiff of it, whether you're doing short sniffs, long sniffs, again, or even if you reset your nasal passages by kind of breathing into your arm and taking a whiff of it. But again, overall, it is still a pleasant beer. But again, like I said, I probably, B minus for the Belgian style beer. If I had, was given these, like this one in particular, I still will enjoy this. Food pairing, light shellfish, mussel dishes. Belgians like to use wit beer with cooking. So with maybe mussels, clams, steamed, maybe even like some shellfish like shrimp, maybe, most, chicken or pork dishes, maybe not really too heavily sauced or too caramelized, because it may overpower this a little bit, but it is refreshing enough. May go good with some, pasta dishes with just strict like mozzarella, ricotta, light cheeses, nothing too overpowering, like a pasta cruda or things like that. But again, guys, definitely a solid beer. Not my favorite Belgian Witbier style that I've had. Like I said, I would still rank Allagash, Ommegang, probably Wit, even Hoegaarden, AB InBev's version after they bought it out. But again, if you are interested in that history, look for my What Is Style Witbier video in the annals of my page here. So again, guys, Lone Oak Farm, Goldenrod, Belgian Witbier style. Again, a solid average, again, B beer. Definitely would try it. If you do like the Witbier style, you may enjoy it more than I do. Definitely chime in. Not horrible. I just think kind of run-of-the-mill average styles. I would have expected a little bit more coriander aroma and flavor, and maybe even a little lighter, like straw-colored, and more kind of wheat flavor to it. We're kind of getting, I don't think enough of a malt backbone on this beer. But again, I try to be a little critical on some of these beers, especially if they're matching up against some of these big boys. But it's still good. It's still drinkable. It's not oxidized. I was getting a little worried about the date on there. But again, Lone Oak Farm, Goldenrod, Belgian Wit style. If you'd like to see the other video that I did on them, it was, I believe it was a chocolate porter. You could take a look at that under Beer Dissection. All right, guys, till the next video, have a great day. Take care.